friends, I'm Kate from Peaceful Paws, and I'm here with my daughter Maddie. And generally, when you come into our living room, we are moving our bodies with our breath and practicing a bit of yoga or meditation. But today we wanted to do something a little bit different. We have been gathering supplies and materials and thinking about different ways that we can take good care of our feelings. We are kind of in the midst of the online homeschooling experience, and sometimes that's frustrating, getting used to the new technology. And one of the things that Maddie really likes to do is Maddie really likes to engage in sensory play as a way of taking care of her feelings. And one thing that we enjoy is making aromatherapy Play-Dough, which very simply means Play-Doh that smells good. When Maddie and Tobias were little, when my kids were little, they went to a cooperative preschool, and the parents were all responsible for taking turns making Play-Doh for the classroom. So I have had lots of experience making Play-Doh. And I'm going to show you the recipe that I learned and that we use most often at home. And this particular type of practice is actually a mindfulness practice. Mindfulness means coming into the present moment right here, right now, in a kind and curious way. And when we do yoga, we use our breath and our body to come into the present moment. But when we're playing with Play-Doh, and particularly when we're doing aromatherapy Play-Doh, we're using our senses. We're using our sense of touch, and if it's aromatherapy Play-Doh, our sense of smell. So we will get started. This is a pretty simple recipe, but you do need to use your cooktop, your stove, to heat it up. This is the recipe that I know you might be able to find other recipes where you do not have to use the stove. So for my friends at home, you want to make sure that you have a grown-up there to help you with the stove. The other thing that I wanted to tell you is we scent our Play-Doh, and sometimes we use essential oils. Not all essential oils are good for kids. So parents, I would suggest doing a little bit of research. You know your kids, you know their allergies. Before you add scents into the Play-Doh, you just want to make sure they're safe for your kid. We tend to use lavender oil. Sometimes we use orange oil. If you don't have any essential oils, that's totally fine. Sometimes we use a recipe with just baking supplies. I really like the scent of vanilla and almond. And so one of the Play-Doh recipes that we did earlier today is a cozy cookie recipe, and that just uses almond and vanilla to scent the dough. So even if you don't have any essential oils, you might be able to find something in your kitchen that smells nice. So the basic recipe requires just a few ingredients. You need some flour. We use all-purpose flour. You can really use any flour that you happen to have in your pantry at home. And you need 2 cups of flour. So Maddie is going to put 2 cups of flour into our pot. 2 cups of flour. The next ingredient is salt. You can use any salt that you happen to have around. I use just basic table salt. If you use sea salt or kosher salt, the salt grains are a little bit bigger and it changes the texture of your Play-Doh. Maddie tends to like the Play-Doh to be smooth, so we use kind of smaller granule table salt. So you need 1 cup of table salt, which is kind of a lot of salt. Shake, 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 shake. And that is probably good enough. You don't have to be very precise because we're not baking anything. When you bake, it is important to be precise. So we have 2 cups flour, 1 cup salt, And then we put in 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar. And this is a little bit tricky because I have to pour it. So 1 teaspoon cream of tartar. And we try just our best. Good enough. All right, Maddie, want to pour that in? All right, then once you've got your dry ingredients, you can give it a whisk to whisk it all together. Excellent. Then we'll put together our wet ingredients. You need 2 cups of water. I like to use warm water because the warm water helps the food coloring to dissolve a little bit better if you decide that you want your Play-Doh to have a color. We've done both. We pre-made some. This is our Cozy Cookie Aromatherapy Playdough, and this is the one that has the vanilla and almond scent, and there's no color in this one. This is just kind of the color of the flour and the salt put together. Smell good? However, if you would like it to have a color, you can add a little bit of food color. Now this, let's see, this is our Sunny Citrus, which has an orange scent and kind of an orangey yellow color.
Can I use this to mix it?
Yes. So Maddie's going to put in just a few drops of food color. Now when you add it to the flour, the color is going to
it's gonna get lighter.
It'll get lighter. It fades a little bit, so you may want to put in a little bit extra if you want it to be super vibrant. It's up to you.
No, I don't want it.
You want it light?
Maybe I'll add some.
All right, Maddie's thinking she wants hers light, and this particular Play-Doh, we decided is going to have a lavender scent. We were thinking this one we could call Peaceful Purple. I've got the container. We decorated our containers. You can decorate your containers. You can think about how the different scents and colors make you feel. Lavender often can help people to feel a little bit calm or peaceful. So when you add your oil, again, check with your parents before you add any oils. You just want to add a few drops. Mix it around. And kids, just so you know, you don't want to put the essential oils right on your skin. All right, give it a scent. How does it smell? All right, so now you want to add your liquid. Yes, your liquid to your dry ingredients. And whisk it around to get rid of all of the lumps. This will make it easier when you cook it.
Oh, I don't like that color.
Maddie's decided she doesn't like this color after all. Do you want to change it?
Yeah.
You want it to be more vibrant?
Yeah. It's too light.
Sometimes you gotta do a little trial and error.
I'm just gonna leave it there.
We can also use our sense of sight to help us come into the present moment as we do this project. Can I help you a little bit with the lumps?
Yeah.
Sometimes they get stuck on the sides. Sometimes a vigorous whisk will help you with
Ready?
the lumps. Yep. You going for more?
Yeah, I don't like that color.
She still doesn't like this color. And these are just food colors that you would get at
Oh, my hand's purple.
the store in your baking section, the grocery store. Now, here's the part where you need a grown-up.
Oh,
so, what we are going to go do now is we're going to put this on our stove, and we are going to cook it over medium heat. We have a gas stove, so it heats up pretty quickly, and it will get cooked up in under 5 minutes. And you really want to mix it constantly, and you want to keep scraping the sides. What will happen, Maddie, you want to hold that for a sec? Oh, is the Play-Doh will start to solidify. The cream of tartar helps it solidify, get solid. So you want to scrape the sides, it'll start to get hard. I use another spoon to get it off my wooden spoon and keep mixing the whole time. So you want to watch it because it cooks really quickly. And you want to take it off the stove when it kind of looks like mashed potatoes. It's sort of that consistency. We will go put ours on the stove and we'll come back and join you when it's all cooked up. So we'll see you in just a minute. You ready? So we have the Play-Doh cooking over a medium heat on the stovetop. You just want to continuously scrape the sides to prevent any burning. When you begin, it has sort of a soup-like consistency. And when it's done, it'll be more like mashed potato consistency. You don't want to overcook it because then your Play-Doh will feel sort of dry, and it's not as satisfying to play with if it's too dry, right, Matt?
Nope.
So as I mentioned, it sort of gets stuck on your spoon. I just scrape it off, keep stirring. So now it's beginning to solidify. And that just took a minute or two. But again, with if you have an electric stove, it may take a little bit longer. Getting an arm workout in here.
Yoga.
Yes, I can practice being mindful of my muscles, the sensations in my muscles.
You should get it off the spoon and scrape that side with.
We're going to scrape. I can smell the lavender. You guys smell the lavender?
Mama, get the top right there.
Maddie's very concerned about the sides.
And the bottom.
So we're almost there.
You always do that side, but not the other side.
And this is actually probably done. And we're going to turn it off.
And it's really hot.
And it's hot. And we're going to grab pot holders.
No, don't touch it.
And bring it over. Whoops. All right, friends, we're back. We've cooked our Play-Doh, and it has just come off the stove. And this is what it looks like. Sort of our mashed potato consistency. I am going to take this big lump. It's hot. So Tobias was curious to know if he could touch it. And what I would recommend is not having kids touch it until it's cooled down. Tobias has joined us. He couldn't resist the little Aromatherapy Playdough play. So I'm just scraping the sides. No. So it does cool down fairly quickly. While it's still warm, depending on your sensitivity, grown-ups may like to sort of roll it around a little bit. And this is it. This is our final product. Nope, it's still too hot. So this is our peaceful purple batch of Aromatherapy Play-Doh. It smells like lavender. Now you may ask, what do you do with it? So there's sort of an you touch it. Yes, as soon as it cools, it is meant to be touched, not quite. But we also wanted to give you a few other ideas. You can take this as it is and just play with it. Once it's cool, you may like to roll it into balls or snakes. Sometimes that's really soothing. Just kind of the rolling around. You may have Play-Doh toys.
And this one got paws on.
This one has paws on it. We have no shortage of Play-Doh supplies. So you can just engage in some sensory play and play.
Paws on it.
We have paws.
We have paws.
Even forks to give it texture.
Then get rid of it. We just want our paws, Maddie.
Chop it up. You can make shapes.
Paws are. I don't like. Well, then use the paws. Can we touch it?
You can touch it now. Yes.
At
Thank you for
last.
asking.
See, I'm touching it. I don't make it.
But
Yeah, maybe
we also wanted to give you some other options. You could also. Can I have some?
Can I make one?
So Maddie knows where we're headed here. You could use your Aromatherapy Play-Doh to make a mandala. You take, this one's kind of sticky, I'm not gonna lie. We might have cooked this a little bit longer. Not quite enough. If I were gonna make a recommendation to you, you might cook yours just a tad longer than we cooked ours. It might have a little bit too much moisture in it. So let's see, you wanna use beads?
Yeah.
So Maddie really likes to use her creative spirit and mix it with her sensory play. So a mandala is just a circle design. You can take your Aromatherapy Play-Doh and then use beads and stick them into your Play-Doh to make a mandala design. Actually, I can put Tobias to work on a different project.
Me too.
You might also like to take some of your Play-Doh and use it to create a scene, a miniature scene. So, you might take some of your Play-Doh and set it up. Use it to set up kind of a play set. We have no shortage of miniatures in our house. This is one of our favorite things to do for imaginative play. So we just have little animals and various creatures. And you could also use different nature materials. So we've got shells, rocks, little jewels are always popular if you happen to have those lying around. What did I do? Even sticks for bridges. You can use whatever you have access to, and really just let kids play. Another material that is also very popular is use beans, or also in here I have, these are colored, they're dyed corn kernels, which Maddie also likes to use these in her mosaics. But that's a project for another day, but that is also fun.
Okay. No.
Now, Tobias is getting his play scene set up. And again, these activities are appropriate for preschool kids.
Do we have noodles?
No, preschool kids.
Oh, you want to make
Tobias is in 4th grade. And I actually really like Aromatherapy Play-Doh. It's good for adults too. We all sometimes need a little bit of sensory engagement. And again, you guys can get creative too, even if you decorating your containers. One batch of the rest of the Play-Doh recipe will give you 2 quarts. This is a set of the Sunny Citrus and the Cozy Cookie that we made earlier. So the 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of salt, 1 teaspoon cream of tartar.
Yes.
Look,
I made the shape of a turtle.
Oh my goodness, guys, do you know what I forgot?
What did we forget?
I completely forgot to add the oil.
No
Maybe
problem.
that's why our Play-Doh is sticky. All right, friends, I forgot to add an ingredient. I will give you a list of the ingredients. You can add an oil of your choice. So this happens to be canola and olive oil. You could use regular olive oil. You could use vegetable oil. You could use coconut oil, depending on your allergies and sensitivities. You choose. I think that might be why our Play-Doh is a little tacky. So my suggestion would be to use 1 to 2 tablespoons of your oil of choice.
Can't we add it now?
This is a beautiful oops. Now we learn what the oil does. I don't know that I would add it after.
I kind of like it like this.
You do?
It's a bit like this. Well, it's not like
Life is a big experiment. A little bit of
Go back
trial
and
and
fix
error.
it, Maddie. What do you mean can we keep it like this? It's not like we can go back. Can we keep it like this?
So friends, I would
Like the
suggest
other
adding the
one, though.
oil. And I'll make a little note at the beginning of the video. But that could be why it's a little tacky. How's your placing coming
I
along?
want to get the turtle out so you get it.
Oh, so you have an impression? Did it work?
I did it once, but I want it deeper.
Hmm.
But then it's harder, right?
It's just a nice material to have a little bit of really creative fun. It helps you stay rooted in the here and the now in these strange times. All right, so we hope you enjoy. We hope you remember your oil. And if not, sometimes we turn this into a beautiful, oops, I wonder what we can do with kind of our tackier Play-Doh. Maybe we'll learn a new use for it. But we send love and kindness from our hearts to yours, and we wish you all well, and we'll see you next time.